Hello, everybody. Hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful day. Today is a complete test of patience because I locked myself out of my StreamYard account, or actually, my StreamYard and my YouTube account on the computer. So I'm doing it on my cell phone. So I have to really, really apologize. I don't know how this is going to work out because I can't see any comments at all. So I apologize. Well, hey, Amy, I can see that. I will try to keep watching. So I apologize if I don't get to any comments. As you all, some of you saw, some of you didn't. It's been kind of a challenging day for Jeffrey. He is still not, he still hasn't left. I can never remember where it is, but it's 2 hours away. And he got there at 6 o'clock this morning. He is still there. He has to be exhausted. And from what he was saying earlier today, his plan is to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning too. So hopefully things will change. He's working with the guy from the company and they're trying to diagnose what's wrong. So hopefully he will get home, and it's just really rough for him it's really rough for anybody to start the week. So it's been fun. So I got to go out and do the morning and evening chores. And so that was, it was fun. My biggest fear, I love doing it. I love spending time with the animals. I really, really worry that I'm going to screw something up. So I'm glad that I get to take you all. At least I was able to take you all this afternoon. And you all can remind me of the things I forget. But I think I got everything. But somebody asked about him getting a hotel room. I wish he would. He's kind of stubborn as a mule. I'm at the point, even if the company wouldn't pay for it, it would be well worth it just for his sanity to spend the night. But if I say that, he'll go blah, blah, blah. So, so I would love for him to do that. It would be absolutely worth it for him to not see him, for him to actually get some rest. But I know he won't do that. Yeah, if he comes on here, guys, you all yell at him about getting some place to stay, because I think that would be wonderful, wonderful. But yeah, so he he uses the company gas card, so that's not really necessarily a huge problem, but just in general, just the wear and tear. Honestly, I'm more worried about him than their vehicles. Their vehicles are. He runs. I shouldn't say he runs into the ground. He doesn't run to the ground. Just his work is so busy. So, but like I was saying earlier, we really, really got spoiled. We got very spoiled with him working so close to home, working in Fleetwood, working in Kutztown, which are both really close to the farm. So we were really fortunate there, but I don't know. And part of it is truly, I don't know that everybody would be as conscientious as him. Like, he got there early this morning because he wanted to make sure the kids could have heat when they got to school. So I have to say, I appreciate that for him, because, and I don't know if you all heard, because we were talking in the live this evening, that they have a candy jar, and they actually have given him permission, so he doesn't have to steal. At least he didn't have to steal the candy. Berwick, that's where he is. I always forget the name of that place, Berwick. So honestly, though, it couldn't happen really at a better time, because this week I kind of work two jobs. This week, my main job is on break. We do with the specialized preschoolers, we go to school like 4 to 6 weeks, and then we have like a 10-day break. And so we're on that 10-day break. However, on those breaks, I work for another school district, because I've done this I graduated in 1994, so 31 years, and I've never seen such a PT shortage as there is right now. And so the city school, they're short on PT. And so I can pick up hours for them that's desperately, desperately needed. And I don't mind making a little extra money on the side when my other job's closed. So That means I get to go in just a tiny bit later. So it really helps that I can get out there and help when he needs it. So that works really, really good. I do miss my kiddos when we're on break, but I can't say it's kind of nice, and they get to the point that they kind of need a break from us. Yeah, I think he did get into dad mode. I mean, like, I would hate to send my child to school, and there were at our school, we're like specialized preschoolers, and it was one day last week. I don't know exactly what day, but like there was no heat in the hallway, there was no heat in the gym, there was no heat in the bathroom. Luckily, when we kicked the kids, it was warm, but it was miserable to move out of there. So, I don't think if kids aren't warm and kids aren't comfortable, they're not going to learn. So he's a good guy, even though he'll be grumpy when he gets home, but he has every right to be grumpy. He's exhausted. So, hey, Nestella, are you all ready for all those babies? Cheryl, I'm over the cold too. Luckily, on Wednesday, I think, it is supposed to get up to 40 degrees. So I'm planning on washing my car, cleaning out my car a little bit. So like today, Janice was saying that the animals were wild all day. They had so much fun outside. And she said you could tell like Cinco, like wherever the sun was, he would just kind of like move his body. So they're smart. They're very, very smart animals. So about honestly, I do think he's got a great relationship with his boss. His boss, I think, really appreciates all of his work. And I think if he were to ask, they'd probably have a per diem, and they probably would let him spend the night. However, he won't do that. He never has done that. That's just kind of a Jeff thing. I wish he would, because it does worry me, him being so sleepy and driving so far, because he's not really great about staying awake when he's driving. So that does worry me. Oh, thank you for this. It sounds really bad. I didn't want to put, oh, okay. I didn't want to put on like roll pants today, so we're leggings. And this is the only top that I had was long enough to cover behind me. So I'm just going to throw it on. I don't know. I just want to be comfy. Today was just a comfy day. So I've got this. This is another one of my consignment store purchases. I think my $4.50 consignment store purchase, which I am going to head there this weekend. So I need to it's my game. I take like $50 and see what can I get for $50 or 40 or whatever. So it's a lot of fun. So that's my plans for later on. And then next week hope Jeff's not in here for this, but for Mother's Day, they got me a gift certificate to a spa. So, and I haven't done it yet. I got it for Mother's Day and I haven't done it yet. It's just so hard to find time away. So I may do that because I don't want it to expire and me not use it. That would be kind of crappy. It'd be kind of crappy. He spent the money and me not take advantage of it. So that is the plan. And that is a good idea. Somebody said look for coveralls at the thrift store because it is it's kind of an Amish and Mennonite country. And so they do have a lot of work clothes. They have got a lot of really, really, really nice stuff. So that's actually, I've got a couple of my coats there and let them all. Honestly, I love getting anything there. I don't care. And I love getting a good deal. And they are very, very picky about the stuff that they accept. So when you get stuff from there, it's usually pretty decent. Was everybody talking about their dinner? I won Mom of the Year. Remember from our live this evening, we were talking about Jaden was being challenging. He wasn't being challenging. He was just being fun. We were doing Moms Against Cooking. So we had grilled cheese and potato soup. So hopefully tomorrow he will, we can have like a real family sit down, spend the money on coveralls. I know I should, but my theory is like, it's getting warmer. They already have spring stuff out, so it's going to be on sale. And really, I will be honest, before I spent money on coveralls, what I probably would honestly, the only thing that hurts me when I'm outside are my fingers. And before I would buy coveralls, I would probably see if I could do like heated gloves because when was it? When it was really cold, I had on like two pairs of leggings, and I have like a pair of jeans that when I lost weight, they're too big now, but they're perfect to throw over like two pairs of leggings. So I don't get that cold, except my hands just get miserable. And I don't know if you'll ever heard this story, but like this thumb right here, when Jeff and I were, if you're queasy, I apologize. When Jeff and I were dating, he was working on race cars, and he said he was working on a fan motor, and he said, whatever you do, well, he said, hold this. But whatever you do, don't touch it. Well, that makes sense. Like, don't touch fan blades. So I was holding it, and I think it started going really, really fast. And, it's at that stage where, we really liked each other, and I didn't want to make him upset or whatever. So it started to fall, and I went to catch it. Yeah, don't ever try to catch a fan because it does not end well. So it actually cut off like part of my thumb, and that when it gets cold, it like aches it aches horribly. So yeah, after that, not really. That's if you ever hear him hesitate for me to use power tools or do things like that, that could be the reason. Because when it happened, he's like, go upstairs and wrap it up. And I'm like, okay. And then when he came up, and all I heard him say was, I love you. I'm like, oh dear God, it's bad. It's bad. So that's sometimes why if you hear him hesitate to allow me to use power tools or anything like that, that could be why. I was going to say I'm not super mechanically inclined, but this year we have to learn. Jaden and our job is to get tires on and off the race car. And okay, I can do that, but the key is to not strip the bolts because sometimes we do that. So he was making really good progress on Jaden's car. Whatever day was it? Yes, I don't know. Whatever day that was, the weekend we kind of ran together. So he's making progress. I think it's a lot slower than he would like, but we're going to get there. We'll get there, and that's where we differ a little bit. He's very like all or nothing, and every personality, it takes all different kinds of personalities to make the world go around. So this is not complaining about its character flaw. It's just where we're very different. He's very all or nothing. He's very, Jaden needs 4 race cars. We need to give him every opportunity, which I do understand. But like, I would be very content with 2 to 3 race cars that he gets really good at, and that Jeff has not stretched himself super, super thin. But it's a battle I always lose. So I still put my 2 cents worth in, but I usually get vetoed because 4 cars is a lot of maintenance. It's a lot of stuff. Hey, Amy, Royce is in my bedroom with Jaden. This weather, like he will want to go outside and he will step outside for about 5 seconds. Where did I go? I'm back. I had to kick myself off Wi-Fi, but it says my Wi-Fi is still working. Can you see me now? Can you hear me now? I feel like, what is that, a Verizon commercial? I'm back. Technology has been a pain in my butt lately. So, oh no, I was like, oh no, I'm frozen. I don't know what happened. I'm sitting here looking at my router, and it's perfectly fine. But I was talking about my Royce. We came back from Jaden Lauren's last night, and I worry about you know me, I'm nuts. But he'll go outside for just a few seconds and come back in, and then I don't make him stay out. It's cold. We got back last night, and some of y'all may have heard the story, but like I try to lay down. Hey, Mindy, I try to lay down, and like he's laying down, but he's like breathing funky, and I'm like, the dog mom brain goes crazy. I'm like, something's wrong with him. Something's wrong with him. And then he comes up and he like lays on top of me, and he's 90 pounds. I'm like, oh no, something's wrong with me. He's like being weird. He's like kind of like being a service dog. He's telling me something's wrong. And then it happened. He went totally back crap crazy. He was pouncing. He was taking the covers and shaking them. He was stealing clothes. He was nuts. And so today we tried to get all of his energy out, and then he'll finally go to sleep, and he will sleep like he'll start out like laying long ways beside me. And then by 2 in the morning, he's this way. And so then I have to, okay, I'm going to say kick him off the bed. I do not kick him off the bed, because now we're going to have Royce against Mary. I don't kick him off the bed. I just shoo him so I can get comfortable again. But he has been wild. So he's in the bedroom with Jaden, because if he was out here, he would be barking to drink out of the tub, barking to get food, barking to go outside. And don't tell Jeffrey, but sometimes he can be a pain in the butt. I love him dearly, but he can be a pain. So I told Jaden, I'm like, I will give you 30 extra minutes on your tablet if you would just stay back there and hang out with Royce. And so now both of them are happy, and I'm happy, and life is good. So he's doing good. He's being a good boy. He's had a lot of fun helping out. He's had a lot of fun helping out at the farm. I think one of the biggest factors was, Jeffrey has a tendency, I think it's just different parents say, hey, bud, do you want to go out to the farm? And if he's cozy in his room and he's playing electronics, he's going to say, no. So, I'm like, when we were growing up, we weren't given tons of choices. It was just so I think what Jess found is say, hey, bud, I'm going to the farm. Come on, let's go. And sometimes we'll get a little attitude, but then we're like, it's not really a choice. You're going. And then once he gets out there, he is such a good help. And he kind of picks up on things that I don't pick up on. So this has been such a great opportunity for all of us. Hey, Miss Carrie, you're coming to town soon, aren't you? So yeah. And somebody asked if we watched the game. We watched the game at Jaden Lauren's till halftime was over. And then we came home. And I don't know if it's ever going to change. And you've heard us probably talk about it. Jaden has a 9:00 stop. 9:00. We left there probably at 5 after 9, maybe. He was sound asleep by the time we got home. So it's a hard stop. I'm like, buddy, you can actually stay awake a little bit later. Somebody said about farm tours and martial arts instead of racing. It's hard to say that. He's very funny because when we're working on race cars and we're talking about going to the races, you do wonder, bud, are you really that interested? And I've had that conversation. Daddy's not going to be upset. I'm not going to be upset. If you don't want to race, you do what you want to do. But once he gets there and he gets in race mode, kind of like everything else, he is I hate to say it, he's a little bit like me because I love people, but if you give me the choice of being out and about or home, I'm a homebody. I like to be home. And Jaden is a lot like me. He likes to be home. And like I said, different people make the world go around. And so, but once, kind of like me, but once I get out, I'm fine. It's just kind of the thought of it. So once we get to the races, he has a good time. He really, really is starting to strategize about how to get better. He's very intuitive about a lot of stuff. He was a kiddo. You know, what we found is when you have sometimes like these little kids starting at 5, you have the kiddos that have really great car control, but they don't go very fast, or the kiddos that step on the gas that have no car control that will crash into anything. And Jaden was the one who had good car control, but he did not go fast. It was like driving Miss Daisy, slow as molasses. And I think it killed Jeff. But then as time's gone on, he's picked up the speed. He's gotten a lot faster. He's got really good car control. And so like he's really making a lot of improvement. So it's fun to see. But like I said, I think just he's a homebody, and if you give him the choice, he would just rather just chill at home. But at his age, that's not good for him. That's not healthy for him. And so we do everything we can to encourage him to go out and about. I think it changes like after probably this year, because my guess is he's gotten a lot taller and he's probably going to outgrow quarter midget soon. And so the next car he would get to is just going to be one car, and it'll race like one night a week. And like, that's very, very doable. And so I think we just got to get through maybe like one more year, quarter midgets. Royce is digging into something. I can hear it. Think the race thing is Jeff's passion, not Jaden's. You know, I understand why it seems that way. I really, really do. And like I said, over the years, we've had many, many discussions with Jaden about that. And I think we've given him every opportunity to jump out, to say no. Jeff has had the conversation with him. Hey, buddy, you don't want to, that's fine. So, you know, we've all had the conversation, and I do think he enjoys it. Do I think he has, maybe the insane, there's passion, and then there's like, you live and breathe for it. Jeff lived and breathed for racing. Like, okay, I know how to describe it. Like for Jeff, like racing was life. And for a lot of these people, racing is life. For Jaden, racing is part of his life. It's an aspect of his life. It's not his entire identity. And so, but I guess all we can do is give him the opportunity to tell us. And he's a really bad liar. And I usually can tell when he's not being truthful, or when he's kind of trying to beat around the bush. And so, you know, so far, we'll see. I mean, like, you know, when he gets a little bit older, we're never like, that is what you have to do. And he and Jeff have actually last year had a ton of fun going to the races together. That's something that it's hard to explain. Like when Jeff and I were having trouble, it very much was me and Jaden. And then Jeffrey did what, you know, Jeff things. And Jaden kind of was my baddie. Thank you, Amy. And Jaden was my baddie, and we did everything together. And so this past year, it's been hard in a way to not have my baddie with me all the time, but I've absolutely adored and had a wonderful time watching Jaden and Jeff develop their own relationship, because that relationship wasn't that great at all. And so I think Jaden has had a phenomenal time getting to kind of like getting to know his dad in a different way. And this year they've gone to tons of races together, and they kid each other, and they do that male banter, which drives me crazy. But I know that that's just a rite of passage, and that's just what kids do, and or guys do. They never outgrow it, and I think it will also. I mean, I think when Jeff has time to slow down, I do think they will spend time in the basement together, and I just think, right now, be trying to figure out how to say it. Like Jaden is very shy. Jaden has a difficult time. I don't want to say making friends. That doesn't make sense, because honestly, anybody would be crazy not to have him, but he doesn't fit into the mold of most teenagers right now. I guess that's it. He's like an old soul. And so I think it's just something else that we can spend time with him doing. And like I said, when he's done doing it, that's all good. Are we going to sell shirts? Yes. Jeff knows exactly who he wants to get to make our shirts. I do not know. I don't know these people. And so thank you for the stars. I don't know these people. And so once life slows down, which it has to for Jeffrey, it has to eventually, because he isn't even called, which means he has not even left Berwick yet. So, and I just have to apologize because I'm on my phone. I've got I can read like this much of the comments. So it's really, really difficult. So yes, that stage is very, very hard to watch. And I am very, fix it. That's just my family. I want to fix everything. And that's something that I can't fix. And yeah, I don't know. It's hard because we tried him in soccer. We tried him in all the sports, and he was not interested in that. So he has made some friends at martial arts. And honestly, Jeff and I, we just a second, we've been married 19 or 20 years. I don't even know. Like, let's say 20. I should know this. I don't know. I kind of honestly lost track. But I'll look back and I'll let you know for sure. 20. Just a second. We got engaged. Yes. So I'm going to say 19 or 20 years. Yeah, they are very much Jeff and Jaden are very much, they have a lot of fun when they are together. And that honestly, I love the fact that Jeff and I are rebuilding our relationship, and Jeff and I are moving forward and working on things together. But just as much as I appreciate that, I absolutely love to see the father that he is being to Jaden, because I think all of the boys need that. I think somehow it gets a little bit lost in translation on lives. I am very much still kind of like the disciplinarian, the boss. It does drive Jeffrey crazy because he'll be like, can I go on a field trip? And Jeff will be like, or will you sign this for a field trip? And Jeff will be like, sure. And he's like, Mom, can I? And so I think I still ultimately kind of am the disciplinarian, but before I was the disciplinarian and the bad guy because Jeff thought I was goofy. And but now it's nice to have somebody to have my back. And I feel that he's going to have a lot to offer this world. I just think 13 in this day and age is a very, 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 very difficult age. Just like, for example, like the walkout on whatever day it was, Friday. It's just, he literally could not go to sleep that night because I think it was I don't want to stay in class and have people make fun of me and say bad things about me. But I also don't want to break the rules and walk out of school. And so he like analyzes all of that, where sometimes I wish he would, sometimes I wish he would just not be worry about himself, worry about things so much. But that's why that's one of the reasons he didn't go to school on Friday, because he did not sleep. He could not go to sleep because he was very concerned about his choice. And I think that's what one of the things that upset me the most is, like, right now in this world, we're having adults that are really struggling to navigate that terrain in our country right now. And so I think it's so unfair that we're asking children to do that. Just a second here. Something about Jaden. Jaden did stay home. He did stay home. And I may or may not have called the principal, but that's neither here nor there. So like I said, we in this, you see adults every day being complete, lack of better words, jackasses about things and being mean to other people. So I cannot imagine, I would not put my child in that place. And if they want to get mad at me for keeping him home, then they can get mad at me for keeping him home, because he's my kid. I know him best. And, like I said, in hindsight, because he had to call the police, I can't imagine Jaden would have totally panicked, turned jet police on him. Oh my gosh, Kelly, I don't know if you remember last year. There was something going on at school that we're really not those parents, guys. We're really not. It sounds like we are. We're not. We're really not. I'm definitely not the one that my child never gets in trouble, because he got in trouble once at school and it was 10 times worse at home. But Jeff called one day it was another similar thing that he got very, very fired up about. And so he called and he has to talk to the principal, thinking that they would be like, okay, we'll put you through this voicemail. And he was like, oh crap. And like they put the principal on the line. But yeah. And so I just think we need to let kids be kids. Yeah. Yes, it was that book. But it was so funny because, like, and that what you don't understand. The funny thing is, that's not Jeff about calling the principal. He only has done that in a handful of cases. He went with me to the doctor. He when Jaden was a baby, and he never raised his voice, but he kind of got firm with the doctor because it's one of those things. We take Jaden to the doctor. Oh, it's a virus. Bring him back in 3 days if he's still running a fever. And we're like, it's not we'll be back in 3 days. And like after 5 times we went back in and they're like, it's just a virus. He's like, we could just, look at this chart. So the thing is, when Jeff gets frustrated enough, he will speak out, which is wonderful. And that is something he's just passionate about, because I think we need kids to be kids. And our math proficiency is 26%. Let's let the kids stay in class and maybe learn. And but there have been a lot of people that were bashing teachers about that, like, just because you know how people online are bashing teachers and all that fun stuff about that. But I have to say, I'm a true believer. I come from a family of educators. Do I think some teachers do interject their beliefs a little bit too much in schools? Yes, I do. But I also think that we have hogtied teachers to where they can't teach, they can't discipline. I mean, you have to teach to this curriculum. They get in trouble for discipline. And there were a lot of people like, well, why didn't you force them to stay in? Well, then you would have parents saying that you held their children against their will. And, it's just a situation. Unfortunately, it starts at home. And it's not starting at home very well in a lot of cases. So I would love, if Jaden was an only child, I would probably do soccer school or something. But he needs the socialization and stuff. So, we have talked about possibly attending the school out by where that's attached to Lake Road, because it's much better scores, much different atmosphere. But, the thought of him changing schools right now terrifies him. It's kind of like, yeah, he's terrified. If you mention it, he will just well up the tears, and, it really stresses him. So we're just going to stay put and just do our best to just help him become the best person. And that's all we can do. And I really, really think, I think he will, if we just keep guiding him in the right directions. You feel bad for teachers. A second. Yeah. Teachers have it rough. Because, I don't know about you all, but when you all were going to school, you did, like if I did something, I still remember the one time I got sent to the principal's office, and you knew if you got sent to the principal's office, there was going to be hell to pay when you got home. And, here I'm going to say a lot, because I see it all the time. I used to work in schools. Like, my child would never do that. Oh yeah, your kid did. Yep, your kid did. And it's not the teacher's fault. Sometimes we're raising a jerk and they need guidance. And he's in seventh grade. He'll be in 8th grade next year. And so I just think that's what's hard. I think a lot of it starts at home, and making your kid be accountable. And sometimes we're not necessarily, sometimes I am too hard on Jaden a little bit, but you all don't see on mobs. But 13-year-old granddaughter started homeschooling because she was bullied. Yeah, and like I said, we did have that. We did have some bullying stuff at school, and but Jaden handled that, and I'm very glad he handled it. And the young man has never bothered him again. And I hate that it came to that. However, we have a hierarchy of what he needs to do. Tell a teacher, tell somebody else. And then if it continues, what do? And things are different with discipline. That's why I told him, like, Daddy, our principal had a paddle. Like, they had a paddle and they could spank your butt. And that's just like foreign to him. And I'm like, yeah, we get you get in really big trouble at school. And like, I probably told you, when I was working at a high school. I was a contracted PT at the school system that he's in, and walked at this older custodian. She walked in the bathroom with girls smoking, and said, "Girls, get back to school." And they said, we can do whatever we want. What the F are you going to do about it? And she looked at me and she's like, they're right. They won't do anything to him. And that's why I can be a teacher. That's why I love my littles, because I could not be a teacher. I cannot be a teacher, or I cannot be a police officer. So those are two things I cannot be. So thank God that there are people who do that job, because I would be fired. You ask him, he'll be like, what would happen if mommy, and just like, I'm reading this. Oh, somebody about their son punched somebody because the kid was bullying him, and then it stopped. And actually, I even talked. I don't know if I told you all. I talked to Jane's martial arts teacher about it. I'm like, hey, just want to let you know what's going on. And his take was very interesting, because he said, I was afraid he'd be like, well, and he's like, no, you know what? He's like, he needs to respect himself enough to take up for himself. And that's exactly what he did. And that is exactly what we encourage. So I was very, very happy to see that, because I was not sure. What his reaction would be. No, I can't handle dealing with kids either at that age at all. I think honestly, okay, where's my tinfoil hat? I need to make a tinfoil hat because I just need one. My sister-in-law joked, she sent me something funny about our tinfoil hats. But I truly believe that at every pediatrician appointment, starting when they're babies, pediatricians need to preach the evils of electronics and the evils of tablets and cell phones and how much that drastically changes a child's brain. Drastically changes a child's brain. So I think if the American tinfoil hat, the American Academy of Pediatrics is truly concerned about the welfare of our children, then that needs to be one of their first lines, because it's insane. It really, really is. So I'm kind of the don't preach to me that you want what's best for our children, as long as there is not commercials, as there is not preaching from the rooftops that electronics are evil for young children and for older children too. But I think the young kids, we're finding, you're finding speech delays, social delays. We're finding all kinds of delays. And are they true organic delays? Are they true developmental delays? Or have we just grown up on a tablet and we have no idea what to do with people? And we have no idea how to talk. And we have no idea how to socialize. So, so that's my little tinfoil hat moment, is if they truly, truly cared about our children, that would be one of the first things they would do. Because, and if you all are just joining or have just joined recently, I want to tell you, I am on my phone because I locked myself out of it's one of those days. I locked myself out of my computer YouTube. And so I'm on my phone and literally I can read 2 sentences of comments at a time. So if your comment is longer than 2 sentences, I can't even read your whole full comment. So I truly apologize. And probably what I'll do when I get off here and it processes, I will probably go back and try to read some of the comments. So Ricardo, somebody said, sorry, I don't know what's going on. Very, very sorry. I promise I won't let this happen again. It's a long story. I tried to log in with Jeff's Gmail account and I don't know what the password is. And so I tried it too many times and it said I had to wait 6 hours, which 6 hours will be about 9 o'clock. So, yeah, it's a Monday. It's a Monday, but I will have to say it was a good Monday. Like I had fun with all of our guys. I really, really do. Like I said, I still need to win Ben and Loretta. Ben and Loretta need to be my spring challenges. Because Ben will come up to me, but he's not going to let me love on him. And little Loretta, I don't know if you saw the video from this morning. She did let me love on her a little bit. But like, I don't want her to be scared of people. It makes me so sad that she's scared. And so what Jeff and I have been talking about is, like on these pretty days, let's just say like Wednesday, Thursday, when it's warmer, is to lock the goats, not all day, like while I'm there for a couple hours. Hey, Ricardo, do me a favor. Would you send me a Facebook message about your message? Because I don't know what's going on. And I see people saying sorry and I can't really read it. But I think, back to the goats, I think what we're going to do is, lock the big goats, lock the boys out, and then have Mama and Lightning have access to the whole goat shed. So hopefully they will get out a little. Oh, you were bullied in school? People are, yeah, that word. They really are. And it's just not fun. They did have access to outside all day long. And I think she does a lot when we're not there. So yeah, we're going to give her free reign. I I don't know how she is going to acclimate to with all of the goats. I don't know what that's going to look like. But when we put up our fence, we're going to have the option to where maybe they don't have to. Because even Mama, the one time she got out with the boys, she was terrified because they're nuts. They're crazy. And so hopefully, just giving her more room. And I just have to say, Ricardo, whoever bullied you has to be a complete idiot, because you are one of the most kind, generous, sweet men. And, unfortunately, I think the bullies tend to pick on the good ones. And so I am glad, hopefully today, whoever that is can look at you and realize what a wonderful man you grew up to be, despite of them being, jerks. Let's say that. Jerks. Okay. I'm going to say I'm sorry. Oh, crap. I can't. Just curious to know. Just say I'm trying to read your comment. I can't read your comment. Jamie, can you message it to me? I swear I apologize. So, we are, I think, just giving her the run, getting her out and about a little bit more. And even if it just comes to like me being present, me just sitting there and somebody there, and her just getting used to our existence. And I am going to say, I don't know if anybody's on here that can do our email. If there's anything on here that I've missed, because I'm seeing prayers for people, I'm seeing all kinds of stuff. And I would love, love, love to know what's going on, how I can pray for you, how I can think, if you wanted to reach out at all, please, please, please just shoot me a message on Facebook Messenger, shoot me a message on anything, because I really love you all. And I really, it's not blowing smoke. I really love each and every one of you. I want you to have a happy life. I hate to see anything negative going on in your life. So please, please reach out. And hey, Venus, Texas, my guess is I'm jealous of you, because I'm guessing it's really warm there. So yeah, he still has not called. He may not be calling because I'm on this, but usually if I'm on this, he'll comment. So guys, his plan is to be up there tomorrow morning at 6. This is getting a little bit nuts though. But hopefully with the manufacturer's rep there today, and they'll get that fixed. And I do think Loretta could be a really, really, really sweet. She is just so scared of people. And it breaks my heart, because I'm like, I've never done anything. I love you. And so I don't think it's a me thing. I just think it's a people thing. And she'll get used to us. She will absolutely get used to us with time. And, Jeff has some really great plans we've already got the fence post already out there for our goat area. We have the post in. We do have the fencing. It's just a matter of putting the fencing up. And once we get the fencing up, then and that'll probably, I'm going to say that's really probably early spring, or, late winter, as long as we can have some decent weather. So I think it would be beautiful to have that. We also have some of you all know, and some of you all do not know, we have a little play area that people were so generous to get Jeff. I think it was for his birthday. Tell me if I'm wrong, because this is when Jeff and I were not on good terms. When his intent was to bring Oreo and Joey here. And so we have that here, and we're going to take it to What If Acres. So they're going to have a very, very nice area. Just, the goats, so they could still get in the big pasture, but they're also going to have their little area that the big goose can't get into. So I think I want to say it was his birthday. It was a big surprise. It was a big surprise to me too, because I had no idea that he was even thinking about bringing goats home. So that was when communication wasn't that great. And that was when in a million years, you could never, ever, ever have told me that we would have our own animals. But I love, guys, I really do love them. They have been wonderful. And I think it's been so good to watch Cinco get healthy, to watch Elliot kind of come out of his shell and not be such a bitey turd head, and to see Fireman kind of like Levin. He can't quite decide. And for Finley to get acclimated, it's just so neat to see all of their changes. And I really do love it. Like, my family thinks I'm sort of like, do you really like this? And I can understand where they're coming from, because and it doesn't sound like a character flaw, but it is as a people pleaser, say whatever everybody wants, smile, put a pretty face on your face, pretty smile on your face, and you can be as miserable as you want, as long as everybody around you make sure you're a yes person. And so I still sometimes think that they think there's a little bit of that going on. Like, do you really like this, or are you just doing what Jeff wants you to do? And I can unequivocally say, did I say that right? I don't know, that I truly, truly love it. Does it get a little overwhelming? Yeah, but doesn't everything that's good get a little overwhelming sometimes? I love them, and it just brings a sense of peace. And we were watching the craziness tonight. I told Janice, I'm like, I can't wait till we have our deck at our camper. We have lawn chairs, and we can just sit out at the deck on a camper and just watch the big goose play and have so much fun. And it will be so neat. And yes, Cinco is truly, somebody said Cinco is a survivor. He truly, truly is. And he's been through so much. Like I said, somebody who is talented needs to write a children's book about Cinco, just about how he has survived. I mean, he's had so many obstacles. He's had so many problems. He's had just craziness. And he is just so... he's just so Cinco. I can't even think of the word. It's just Cinco. And I think when I say that to you all know exactly what I'm talking about. He's Cinco. He's, I don't know. He's wonderful. So, he's Cinco. Well, okay, I'm going to ask you, what adjectives would you all use to describe Cinco? Like, he's resilient. Yes, he's a grass puppy. He's a grass puppy. I can't wait till our grass is back and they can go out in the field and eat. And they're not just, I don't think they're cold. I kind of person, but just, yeah, that is good. He's like grateful. He like kind of knows that all these people, the Steinmetz, and then What If Acres, everybody came together to help him have the best life. Yeah, Cinco is a good boy. He's sweet. So, well, folks, I am going to hop off here. I'm going to try to call my husband and see where he is and what his plans are. And I'm going to tell him that we all voted that he should just stay there tonight instead of trying to drive back and forth, because that is nuts. He can go to Walmart and buy underwear. Every place has a Walmart, right? So I'll tell him we've decided he needs to stay. So his moo crew says he needs to stay, so he needs to listen to him, right? Because he's not going to listen to me, but he'll listen to his moo crew. So, all righty, guys, listen, we love you so much. We truly, truly do. Like I said, shoot me an email, send me a message on Messenger. Love you all dearly, and hope you have a wonderful week. And remember, what if? Have a great night, y'all. Bye-bye.